Okay, so we're back. So we're going to just shuffle cards, see what comes up, to see if these following questions will be answered here. All of the questions that we asked in the earlier part of this reading, the Tarot and Oracle I just did earlier. And then we're going to ask some additional questions like, who or what was behind her disappearance? Where is Felicia now? And friends of Felicia, what do we need to know about them? We got 110 to 160 kilometers. Now, I would have to check and see what kilometers are to miles, because I don't know, you guys. So, my apologies, but I don't know. And you would think I know, because I've relocated to a new country, and they go based off of kilometers and such, and meters and all of that, and I don't know. I'm still learning. But I'll put in the description box what that converts to, or maybe even edit it if I remember to, when I edit the video, I'll try to remember to put that to miles or feet. What else, Spirit? What else would you like to share with us about Felicia Johnson, her disappearance? Where is she? What's going on? What's going on with her friends? What can you share with us? I'm going to shuffle with this one. We're just looking for jumping cards. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you. This one jumped again. Anything else you want to share? Sexual rape, assault, non-consensual. I'll show you all these cards in a moment. I'm just seeing what jumps to Felicia. Let me get her picture up on my screen too. I had it up earlier, but motorbike held captive. Weeks, days, months, weeks. We got that. We'll talk about that in a moment, what those could mean. Oh, okay. Anything else, Spirit, that you want to share about, like, her friends? We got April. Or just anything you want to share that you think is pertinent to helping us find her. Oh, I'm going to reshuffle those. Actually, I'm going to take this April, because that's when she went missing and when her birthday is. But I'm going to tuck that back in there, because I'm intuitively called to do that. Truck hours. Okay. Church. Medium with hair. Caucasian woman. I wish I remember what kilometers means. Overseas, local, global travel. In a moment, I'm going to go ahead and see what we got. Okay. Just like to show you all the jumpers that jump, so that way you see what we got going on. Okay. So let me move these all here. Kind of set these off. We got these little distances here. We got days and hours. What I'm sensing, and I got to chill here, what I'm sensing here is that it won't take us years to find out what has happened to her. And the reason I say that, you guys, I'm going to zoom in. You're still not going to be able to see all these cards. But we got hours, days, weeks, and months. Okay. So what this is telling me, years isn't on here. This is not going to be years in the making of authorities being able to figure out and piece together what happened. There are some critical things that happened hours leading into her disappearance, critical hours following when she got into that vehicle, and critical hours following when folks around her, her family, her loved ones, realized that she was in fact missing. Days, and we're now several days in. What are we in? 12 days, 13 days into the disappearance. They will eventually fold into weeks and months of that it takes to really figure out where she's at, what happened to her, who are the key players, where do we go from here. So that I'm encouraged by not seeing the years on here. I mean, it doesn't mean that it won't take years to prosecute or years to get to the ultimate conclusion, but this is telling us that you can expect for a good year or so of kind of needing all this time, days, weeks, months, to unravel what has happened. We've got 15 to 35 kilometers. God, I wish I knew what that was. I should Google it, but for time's sake, we'll just save kilometers until I edit the video. How about that? I'll talk about the distances in a moment. We'll talk about those in a moment. We did get a direction of south. Could this be south from Spirit? South from the club? South from her hotel? I don't know which hotel she was staying at, so I can't speak on that. Was it south from where the phone was at? Due south from there. But she moved south, okay? This is almost like you see the road going across to leading, like, okay, she went this many miles south. Okay, I'll keep the south there. We got, this card had jumped first, but I'll talk about this one in a moment. I'm not ready to talk about that one yet. We got overseas, local, and global travel. She did travel from California to Texas. I sense that maybe she's traveled before. This could mean that she's moving, traveling, going beyond borders, or going beyond, that she's moved on, taken somewhere else. But here's the thing. I feel like this is speaking to her willingly traveling, maybe getting a plane, someone paying, someone rescuing, helping her to pay to go, not just because it says local travel or global travel. Global would be international. Local could be within the state of California or international. Someone helped her. And what I'm sensing here, you guys, is that if she were to actually cross the borders, you best believe that there would be some sort of record, unless she just crossed, like somebody smuggled her. And I'm not putting that past anybody. They could have smuggled her into Mexico, but the odds are, I don't know if that really is what happened, honestly. I think this is speaking more to how she got there. That's what Spirit is speaking here. How she got to Texas by plane, okay? Someone helped her. I love this card because it says rescued, help, retrieve, or saved. So the optimist in me, the human optimist in me is like, please, Spirit, let this mean that she's going to be saved and rescued. But I think what this is really speaking to, seeing these two cards together, is someone helped her to make these travel plans, to travel to Texas. So we got all sorts of things here. I'm going to kind of put these in order. I think this is kind of speaking to, this is maybe what have happened. This is, wow. Remember in the video before, the reading I did before on Felicia's disappearance, and I said that there was a heart-shaped woman energy I'm picking up on here. Could be Caucasian, or just could be representing someone who seems benign, seems trustworthy. And this is what comes up to me again. Now, it could be that she has medium length hair, Felicia, but I'm sensing, no, this is someone else. Some other person involved in this situation. A female who may be light-skinned, fair-skinned, lighter skinned than her, maybe shoulder length, medium length hair. I don't know. But I'm not sensing it's representing her, is what I'm saying here. We're going to talk about location and stuff in just a moment. Eyewitness. What I'm encouraged by here is what Spirit is saying is, and Spirit said it before with the Justice card, that there will be legal proceedings, legal wranglings. There's already attorneys involved. There's the nightclub's attorney who's saying that they're cooperating. You know, I sensed in a while that the family for Felicia is going to have to hire an attorney. There's going to be attorney representation for whomever may be implicated in this whole thing. There's also speaking to legal wranglings that went on well before even Felicia came into the situation, court documents that will point to other folks who have like prior records, or someone who's dealt with a lot of court proceedings with this card. Eyewitness is also sticking out to me. An eyewitness. There are eyewitnesses. There are witnesses to what has happened to her. What has happened to her? Let's talk about it. It says held captive, hiding, locked away, and hidden. After being assaulted, non-consensual sexual encounters here, the R word. So there was a sense that she was held captive probably immediately after she got into the vehicle. This is alarming because when I see this truck, and when I think of human trafficking, I think of these large vans or large semi-trucks that have a whole bunch of people in them. That's what I think of. And that scares me. Okay, it's not in this deck. They have a regular like truck, like a pickup truck. This is industrial. This is commercial. This tells me that there's an operation behind it. Okay, so this is something. Like, I really honestly feel like her getting involved in this stuff, she bit off more than she could chew. She probably even minimized what the real risks were in her mind. Her father minimized the risk in his mind, hence the fated to suffer cards. Okay, that's what I'm picking up on here. And that's not any judgment, that's just what it is. There was big risk dealing with this situation. This lone person, who is on this motorbike? This person, I wonder what motorbike could really symbolize. I'm sensing this looks like a male who might have been able to make a fast getaway once whatever happened to her happened. Working in cahoots here. That's when I'm with this operation, this trucking company, if you will. Company. We got here medium. Find the little homes for them. So now lastly, we're going to talk and then we'll wrap up the video. We got country, wilderness, green, and lush. Your phone was certainly found in an area like that, right? Near a body of water on a boat. That could be what this symbolizes, but I'm sensing it's more about being near a body of water. But that she's not necessarily emerged. That it's like maybe dryness on ground, like, you know, a dirty or a dirt ground or a dirt floor, or maybe near a body of water but not fully emerged, or, you know, out in the country somewhere and it's actually dry. It's not wet per se, but out in nature, out in the country now, miles away. I don't know. Again, I'm going to have to look at that when I'm editing this video about the kilometers piece. Y'all forgive me on that. So that's what we got here. This could represent that a church is nearby. Could speak to a church being nearby. I don't know. This could speak to a spiritual transformation happening, a call for spirituality, a call for a prayer from all of us. It could mean that, oh God, it could mean that for those of us who have faith, who know God, who believe in God, it could be like you're going to need to pray. You're going to need to really clutch onto your faith, because your faith is going to be tested with this situation. All who is involved and entangled in this situation, even those of you who are watching and viewing this as an outsider, it's going to test your faith. This situation, this entire situation, I can assure you of that. What does that mean? We talked a little bit before about perhaps maybe she's taken her made her transition. I'm not going to speak too much more on that at this time, because I'm going to keep some things to myself as the reader, because that would be the appropriate thing to do. Okay, you all, that's it. That's all for now. I want to thank you so much for joining me on this reading adventure. Okay, so I bet you thought the video was over, right? Well, I went to sleep after I did the reading. It was late that I did the initial part of this video, right? It was like going on midnight. And I was like, okay, I'm going to go to sleep. But then I started dreaming about her, and I was like, you know what? I still have some additional questions, particularly around the kilometers piece. Like, what was Spirit trying to convey and say about that? And so this morning, I get up. Look, got my morning coffee here. I get up and I look online to see how, what is distance to kilometers. So, like in terms of miles. And so what I'm sensing is that they have been moving and moving and moving. They being who is responsible for moving her around, moving and moving and moving. And then the South card also came up last night, right? And that was speaking to perhaps her just traveling from San Diego to Texas. But it could mean that she traveled across the border. I had to kind of come to peace with that, come to an understanding of that when I saw the South card and I saw those kilometers. But then I started thinking and just kind of dreaming about maybe it's her just going across the South, the the South, right? The southern states. So I was like, okay, Spirit, I still need more clarity around that. Can you give me more clarity about where exactly is she at now? I understand that you are affirming she traveled from San Diego to Houston, to the South, to confirm for those who may even be doubtful that this even happened. This happened, is what Spirit is saying. Okay, so I wanted to then do a spread this morning. I spared you all the shuffling and laying out the cards. It was actually a while as I was going between making my coffee. I'm going to take a sip. And laying down the cards, sitting with Spirit this morning. So here's what jumped, and I'll pick up cards as I feel called to show them more closer up to you, okay? So the same cards jumped from last night, which was truck and rescued, saved, help, retrieve. So this one I picked up that someone helped her, someone orchestrated and helped her to come out there and make this happen, okay? And van, that's where I'm getting all this movement, moving her to and fro. Lots of movement, lots of being in a vehicle, going through all sorts of terrain here, just all sorts of terrain. So let me take you through this spread that we've got going on here. So I was like, Spirit, can you just give me some more insights about where exactly she's at, what really happened, where are we at right now? And I got planned and betrayal. So this was a planned situation. This was not something where, have you heard of like crimes of opportunity? This was more than a crime of opportunity. This was planned. This was something that was hatched. Okay, this sense of betrayal, this sense of turning on her, this planning. Okay, I'm going to show you this card up close. Planned, betrayal. This was like, okay, the whole thing was planned. Her coming out there, like a switcheroo I'm getting in my mind. Someone's telling me like they bamboozled her, like this was planned from the jump, and that this betrayal was going to happen. What they may not have counted on, what they may have not counted on was that she was a fighter. Okay, so in part one's reading that I did for Felicia on her case, we did the Mildred Payne Secret Pocket Oracle card and we got the pitchfork. Remember, we got the pitchfork? That rebellion. Yes, there was conflict, but that's because she wasn't docile. She didn't just bow down. She was like, I'm fighting back. And it's that fighting back that may have led to harm to her, okay? Because she was like, you're not going to just take me, okay? You're not going to just take me. So this person, this is just clues I'm sensing about who this person is. They could be a smoker. It could be a heavy smoker, like a cigarette smoker or a cigar smoker, a weed smoker, but just smoke, like smoker. It could just also be a smoking environment that she could be in, smoky. I'm picking up on, maybe this is what she's saying. The vehicle smelled or reeked of smoke. Where she's at reeked of smoke. So there's that. I would imagine that if you're doing this kind of activities, you probably are stressed out. You probably are a smoker. So then we got night. Okay, dark, wandering alone, secluded. There is some level of truth to what, and I'm not saying some level, I would say there is truth. What I mean by some level about what her father was saying is that he can't reveal everything. Remember, this is an active investigation, so people get all frustrated and mad that certain things can't be talked about or shared. He may have even felt like he shared too much, but she was at that particular moment alone, secluded, by herself, making her even vulnerable to what happened. But here's the thing, she was betrayed. This means that she has started to build up a trust over the internet, messaging, social media. See that card? So she may have been alone the night of, or the early morning hours of this whole thing, but she was, this was a building up of trust. She trusted the situation. Maybe even she did something like this before, so it felt safe to her. Okay. Take another sip. I'm getting more information about outdoor situation or the type of locale that she's at. Okay. It says swamp, reeds, algae. And I'm just looking here at the first reading. We got that lake card from the first reading. And then this grounding, which looks like someone's walking barefoot in sand. So this is some sort of natural area. Large group came up. Now, some people would interpret, oh, she was there in a large group. It's neither here nor there if she was there in a large group. The only thing that is pertinent about whether or not she was there with people or not is that maybe they have seen something, maybe they know something, maybe they're afraid to say something, but I don't know if they themselves are implicated in this whole mess of things, okay? But what I'm really, really sensing what this card is speaking to, this large group, is that this is a large operation, a large network. This is, it also could just speak to how many people were in the club that night. A lot of people could have been in the club that night. It was, over the weekend. So it could have been that, there was quite a few folks. I believe it was over the weekend. Let me look at my calendar. Oh, so it could have been 15th going into the 16th. So there could have been a lot of people who were there who've seen this. This also speaks to that. Remember, I was talking last night about the commercial aspects of this. This feels very big and broad, what's going on and percolating around this situation. In a large group, larger than 3 or 4 people, I'm talking a network, large group, or it could just be a crowd, so that's what I'm speaking to here. Rubbish. Hopefully they're checking nearby trash cans. They may have to go to the landfill, because when I did a Google street view of CoverGirls, of the location, and I'm not going to say too much about this, there were dumpsters all around there. One particular one comes to mind. There could have been something left there and dumpsters left near that park, Bear Creek Park, I believe it is. Checking there is a good idea. Now time has passed, so things could have now ended up in the landfill. So they're spreading evidence here and there, trying to throw people off, trying to make her, make people think this about her location. But they also had to get rid of evidence. So they had to do that by throwing it away. January came up. This could just be significant about, remember I was talking in the part 2 reading about family dynamics, relationships. It could just be speaking to, this was a challenging time for Felicia, January, okay? It could also mean that this is when things really, really come to light about what may have happened, January. Or it could symbolize that, it could symbolize someone's birthday, some sort of significant happening in January. We got stalker, waiting, watching, stalking. And we've talked about this before. Like, she's been watched. Her social media has been watched before, during, and after this whole thing. Someone has been stalking her, looking, scoping her out, been scoping her out. She may not have recognized the gravity of the situation, that she was being looked at, stalked, watched, waiting. She just probably didn't understand it, or maybe she felt it. I don't know. That I'm not able to pick up on. But I do know that was going on here. Whistleblower, coming forward, truth. Okay, truth revealed. So this is encouraging to see. This is just speaking to, there will be someone who whistleblows, perhaps an employee there who comes out under the condition, what is it? They say a condition of anonymity. I can never say that word. Where they're anonymous, they remain anonymous. Could be friends who start to remember things about the week leading up to her, or remembering that she said things. Police may be interviewing, FBI may be interviewing. The truth will be revealed. In this line here, we got January, so it could be not until then that the truth is fully revealed. Or there was truth revealed within hours following recognition that she had disappeared. Hours came up last night when I did this oracle spread. So it's just affirming again that a lot of critical information happened, just in a lot of what had happened to her happened within hours following her Uber being late, allegedly. I'm not quite sure about the Uber situation, but that's what they're saying. Some people were like, oh, well, how did they know that her Uber was late? And that's a valid question because it is her app. And was she talking to someone? Did she express frustration? Like, God, my Uber is not here yet. Like, where is it? Did someone overhear her kind of either talking amongst herself or talking to someone in the club? So someone had to have heard that. How did you know, employee, that her Uber was running late? Because the Uber is an app on her phone. Now, I fuss to myself sometimes out loud in front of people, and people probably think I'm crazy. I also talk to spirit out loud. So there's that. But all that is to say, it's like someone had to have heard that. So I'm going to keep this moving. I wanted to look at last night's reading here. And what I'm going to do is see if I can pick up, it won't be in this video description box, but it may be in part 2's video for Felicia's reading, where I try to pick up on some initials of the main culprit person, that page. Let me go back. I want to look at that. It's the Page of Cups. That's a young person. That's why I'm not sensing that it's ultimately her father that's involved, like people are trying to say. The pages in the tarot are young. They're not old. So that's what I'm picking up on here. This is a young person. So I'm going to see what the pages. Let me see if I can even. Someone who might have a U or a V in their name, or in their, U or V in their name. Okay. And I'm going to mention that in the description box of part 2, because that's where that Page of Cups popped up in the reading. All right. I'll look and see if I can pick up on any other letters pertaining to her boyfriend, for example. But particularly the Page of Cups is the reason why I'm mentioning this. The Seven of Cups also could make mention of the letters M and N. So again, I'm going to put that in the description box for box 2 of any different like letters or initials or letters that may be in the name of the person who may be ultimately responsible in orchestrating this and harming her. Okay? That's what I'm going to do. All right, this is getting long, and I didn't want it to get too long. But I wanted to mention that because I was like, I need to remember to do that when I'm editing the other video. Okay, so let's keep moving. City, urban crowds. That could be Houston. Then we got, so this is where I was like, Spirit, I just need some real confirmation here of what happened. Okay, can you give me some real confirmation here of where she's at? Because you gave me all these kilometers. You gave me up to like 1,000 kilometers. I see you're trying to convey to me that she was moving. Thank you. But where exactly is she at now? So then I got north, 0 to 15 kilometers, which I believe works out to, 9 miles or so? I looked that up this morning. Near a river or a creek. The waterways, again, that keeps coming up with the swamp, the lake card, the grounding card with sandy, like a sandy area. So so I'll be looking at maps sometime in the next couple of days to see what I can find here. She was taken north, about 0 to 15 kilometers outside the city limits of Houston. Someone who did this, they may be a part of this large crowd network or operation or feel protected, as I mentioned in part 1 of her reading. They may feel protected, but trust and believe what spurred the attack on her, and I do feel she was attacked, what spurred that was lust. She turned them down. There's temptation. We have infidelity here, affair, and lust. But what really stands out to me, and maybe other keywords stand out to you all, and you can let me know in the comments section, but lust and temptation really stands out to me. They were lusting after her, And she was just like, no. And where are you taking me? And why are you taking me? Where are we going? What's happening here? I'm not going with you. I'm not doing nothing with you. And then all hell broke loose. So in the pitchfork speaks to that, and I'll talk about that over here in a moment. Tied up, bound, held captive here, hiding, locked away. This kind of gave me some encouragement because I keep getting faint hints of she may be with us, she may not be. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in just a moment. But what may have also not helped situations is that she could have been intoxicated, have been drinking. Initially, it may have been kind of celebratory till she realized they weren't going to really have her working there. Then, someone may have been trying to liquor her up to make her a little bit more compliant, make her more trusting. Oh, I know where we can go. Let's go here. Come on with me. I can take you here. And I'll also make sure you get back to your hotel room. And so that's what we're up against here. And so, but she wasn't so intoxicated that she was like, once she realized, hey, where are we going? And then that's when all hell broke loose. That's because she wasn't as intoxicated as they thought she was. Springtime could just literally mean that this is happening now. This has happened now. This has transpired now. We are in the season of spring. It also could mean that some major development in the case, it goes to trial or some kind of major development. This could just represent her sweet little spirit here with her birthday being in April. Strong Aries energy here. So now we get to this last part and then we'll wrap it up, okay? Because this has gone long. Female victim. So these cards just literally flew out as I was shuffling, asking Spirit, what happened? What happened? So I got female victim. Then this card jumped next. Sexual assault, non-consensual rape. That jumped last night. This card jumped. Now here, I'm going to say this about this card. Death could just simply mean that she moved from one state of being to another. It could literally mean that she's made a transition, but it also very well could mean that she is in desperate need of assistance. She needs help. Death is imminent. So that's what it could mean. And it's imminent because why? A sharp weapon was used, stabbing. Okay. These cards just flew out of the deck. Held captive, hiding, locked away, hidden. Time is of the essence still. And that this person is a devil in disguise, a manipulator, a trickster, hiding in the shadows. We talked about that Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde kind of energy. Can't be trusted. Rat. Remember, rat was in part 1. Traitor, betrayal, devil. Ugh. Just, ugh. That's what I'm picking up on here. Okay, you all. So that is where we're at this point, and this is where we're going to get off the line. And I want to thank you all so much for hanging in here with me for parts 1, 2, and 3, and then also my little 15-minute video I did where I'm just giving you all some thoughts, looking at the map, comparing it to the Valley card. Thank you for watching. Thank you for supporting. Thank you for liking the video and subscribing. I'm welcome to my new subscribers. Oh my goodness. Thank you also for recommending cases. I have to be mindful about the cases that I pick up and do. Because sometimes in my spirit, my intuition will say, no, this person's alive. I'm just going to let it see where it goes. And then if, some time has passed, then I'll do a reading. Or sometimes there's just something in my spirit. It's like, no, you need to wait. So just because you don't see the video right away doesn't mean that I haven't gotten your recommendation or not sitting with spirit and talking about it. I just have to be mindful about what cases I do. Okay. Thank you all so much also for being super thoughtful, respectful, and really giving some real jewels of insight into what may have happened. I appreciate your comments so much. All right, you all, have a wonderful day. I'm going to go ahead and get started with my client readings. Take a picture of this, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye.